Welcome back to the channel, Kraken fans, and a very happy Thanksgiving out there to everybody. The Kraken devoured the Sharks last night for a 7-1 win, and hopefully they left some room for Thanksgiving Day food because they filled their stomachs last night with a tasty shark snack and a dominant win over the San Jose Sharks. If you've been a patient Kraken fan here in the early going of the season, it's starting to pay off here, and while we can't draw any conclusions from a blowout win over a struggling team in our division, and honestly probably one of the worst teams in the league, we can be happy with the fact that the Kraken didn't come out, mess around, lay an egg, and fall into a trap game. They were ready to go from the start, and they got the job done. Thanks for being here, you guys, for another episode of Postgame Rapid Reaction. I also have another Squatch Fan Cam here, community focus for you guys. Paul Buxton was nice enough and shared some of his thoughts from the game inside Climate Pledge Arena last night. So thanks to Paul and thanks to the community for being a part of these on the channel. It's a lot of fun to include you guys. But let's talk about the game. We're going to get to Paul's thoughts in just a second. But if you're a Kraken fan and you want to be featured here on the Squatch Fan Cam on the channel, follow me over on x.com. or send me a message, leave a comment right here on the video. I'll try to include you guys in the future. It's really fun to have you all be a part of the channel here at Sasquatch NHL. But let's get to it. We are back to 500 in the standings. We are firmly in a wild card spot. My name's Mike here, Sasquatch NHL. It's great to have you guys along for this episode, a Thanksgiving Day special episode, but a little bit different than my live streams that I do. Let's recap things. We'll talk about how the game went. Here's Paul Buxton's thoughts pre-game on what he thought was going to go down at Climate Pledge Arena last night.
What's up, folks? Paul here at the Kraken Sharks game. I'm a fan conflicted. I'm from San Jose, but of course I'm a diehard Kraken fan. Got to show love to my original childhood team, the Sharks. Such a weird time when these two teams play, but I love it. I love having both the teams under one roof. The Kraken need this win. Definitely, it would be great. The Sharks need to get on the board in the standings. Should be a fun time. I'm looking forward to it. Go both teams. I hope everyone has fun and no one gets hurt.
So thanks, Paul, for sharing your thoughts pre-game. We're going to get to another video of Paul here in just a little bit during the breakdown. But I thought it'd be fun to answer a few questions today on the video. The first one from the live stream the other night, we were asking people, what is your favorite Thanksgiving Day dish? So please let me know in the comments. I'd love to hear from you guys on this one. Also, who has been your Kraken MVP so far this season? I think for me, it's probably been Jaden Schwartz, just because that leadership in the scoring early in the season when things weren't going good. But a lot of players really starting to catch fire here for the Kraken. But let's hear from you guys. Who's been your MVP so far this season? And also, where are you tuning in from? Where are you watching from? I'd love to hear where you guys are at out there in the country and in the world as the channel starts to grow. So thanks for being here, and let me know in the comments your thoughts on these questions. So thanks for tuning in. Always an honor to be part of your content rotation and Kraken post-game routine. If you're liking the video today, it would also go a long ways if you want to hit that like button for me and subscribe. Turn on alerts if you're new to the channel. That way you don't miss out when I go live or upload content here on YouTube. It's always great to have you guys chime in and be a part of the channel. So let's see those comments. I try to respond to every single one, but let's get to it. For this episode, we're going to set the game up, talk about the Sharks and the Kraken just a little bit, look at the roster, look at the stats. We're going to recap the game, 3 stars, and that's going to be it for today's episode. So let's get to the game day setup. The Sharks come in, injury-riddled roster a bit. Logan Couture, their big star, their captain, out. Barabanov out, Matt Benning out, Oscar Lindblom out. The list goes on and on. It's a pretty long list. Coach David Quinn doesn't really have an easy job this year. Sharks don't really look like they have a quality NHL level roster. I think we'd all agree with that. And it definitely shows in the standings. Just 3 wins so far this season, and another loss added to that total on the graphic there. They'll be 3-15-1. Kraken trying to get back to 500, trending up recently, starting to play a more complete game. They still have these little steps forward and backward, but that's okay. I like where they're headed. They're 8-8-5 now. They've had trouble holding leads, 5 overtime and shootout losses this year so far, so also a little bit unlucky in the extra frame, but they're back to 500 now, scoring goals again, getting to the net. They've got one more game left on this homestand, facing the Vancouver Canucks again, who they just beat. So Black Friday is going to be a really interesting matchup against the Canucks. It should be great. For the roster now, not much change for Seattle, but the biggest noteworthy item there is Grubauer injured or some sort of undisclosed issue with him. So Chris Drieger, called up from Coachella Valley, gets into the lineup, but not active last night. Backed up Joey Decord. Also, it looks like Andre Burakovsky starting to skate again, so that's good news. The team is getting healthy, and you're starting to see them solidify a little bit. Podorowski also a call-up. Hasn't seen any action yet since being called up, but something to monitor with Grubauer. We're going to have to see. Maybe they'll give us a little bit more information. Nothing too sure just yet. Chris Strieger ready to go if needed. All right, let's get into the recap for tonight's game. Going to do it a little quicker today than the live stream, but Joey Decourt starts for Seattle in net. Kaapo Kähkönen for San Jose, and right out of the gate, Brandon Turbo Tanev, an electrifying goal, rushes up the ice, a nice pass from Winberg off the wall. Turbo skates in on a breakaway, and he scores a blistering start to the game for Seattle. They follow that up with more great pace. This time, Dumoulin carries the puck into the zone, passes into the slot to Jared McCann. He appears to score, but this one is waved off for offside after they reviewed it, so back to 1-0. And the Kraken don't take their foot off the gas. They're just sending waves of pressure to the Sharks net. Yanni Gourde this time rushes up the left side, takes a shot that bounces off the boards right to Oliver Bjorkstrand. He puts it in, and the Kraken grab a 2-0 lead. Just minutes later now, one of our favorite Kraken players, Big Cat, Adam Larsson, gets his first goal of the year. Eberle, good work down low, sends the puck through the crease. It kind of bounces, finds Big Cat's stick. He sends it high, glove side, making it 3-0. Holy moly. The Kraken aren't done in that period. About a minute left. William Borgen slides a nice pass down to Yanni Gourde. From a sharp angle there, Yanni just kind of directs it at the net. It bounces off of Kähkönen's leg. And in, Kraken, 4-0 lead. Boom, 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 boom. Really quick work by the Kraken in the first period. And they come out of that first period with a big lead. That chases Kaapo Kähkönen from the net. We go to the second, and that would be it. For Kähkönen, like I just mentioned, Mackenzie Blackwood comes into the game for San Jose, but it wouldn't make a huge difference. Scoring in the second period slows down just a little bit, but the Kraken were still controlling things. 16:24 left in the second. Kraken on a power play. Jared McCann goes to work. Schultz up top hands it off to McCann, and he steps into a shot from the top of the circle. A laser. Blackwood didn't even see it, making it 5-0 Kraken at this point. We go all the way to the end of the second period, and Burrows, Tanev mix it up a little bit. Turbo kind of took a hit. He didn't like it. They had a couple of words. They drop the gloves and go. I thought that Tanev got the best of that fight, but you love the feistiness despite having that big lead there at the end of the second period. So we go to the third period now. And that meant it was Tolvi time. The Kraken still churning in the Shark zone. Yanni Gourde creating traffic in front of the net. Bjorkstrand, a shot from the point. It goes all the way through, bounces off the boards again, right, to Tolvanen. He puts it in, makes it 6-0 Kraken. A little bit later in the third, unfortunately, the broadcast last night, I think they jinxed the shutout just a little bit because they put a graphic up on the screen, and wouldn't you know it, just minutes later, the Sharks break through another shot that comes off the boards. We saw a few of those throughout the evening. Mike Hoffman this time capitalizes, puts it in. So the Sharks avoid being shut out. It's 6-1 at this point, and just seconds later, Tolvanen adds another Tolvi tally. Eli Golvanen with 2 goals last night, making it 7-1. Kraken cruise to victory and send the Kraken faithful home for a happy Thanksgiving. It was a great night. Our Squatch Fan Cam focus tonight, Paul Buxton weighed in with his thoughts at postgame. Paul sent a video over, and here it is.
Good. Well, that was some kind of game for the Kraken. Total domination from start to finish. As far as these guys went, they didn't really show up most of the game. I almost felt bad after a while. As a Sharks fan, I felt sort of embarrassed. We just sort of skating around, just letting the Kraken get all kinds of chances, all kinds of just shots on goal, and just kind of a lapse defense the whole night for the Sharks. But hey, as a Sharks fan, you gotta like what the energy was like in there for them. Just finding all kinds of chances and actually, converting on them. Pretty awesome stuff. Got to see fights, see a couple goals from Tolvanen, and then after the game, the Winter Classic jersey frenzy. Got the Kyler Yamamoto, number 56. He's a Washington State product from Spokane, and like me, he's also half Japanese, so two reasons I wanted to get a Yamo jersey. Excited about this. So, yeah, it was a great night. Go Sharks and go Kraken. Go Kraken and go Sharks. And yeah, awesome stuff.
So thanks again to Paul for being our Squatch Fan Cam focus last night. A fan conflicted, grew up rooting for the Sharks. A lot of us in this market going through that. You know, we had our prior teams that we like, and now we've fallen in love with the Kraken. But thanks again, Paul, and thank you guys for being a part of the channel here at Sasquatch NHL. I thought the keys to the game last night, first one was a quick start. They didn't give the Sharks any life at all and just immediately put their foot on the gas. And then after that, they kind of continued to drive to the net and feed pucks at the net. And that is, for me, all I needed to see. Just keep the pressure coming. Don't let your foot come off of the gas. And that's what they did. 7-1 victory. Let's look at the game stats and wrap up today's video, you guys. Sharks had 14 shots. The Kraken with 30, so that's great. You always want to have them up there around 30. That's what I like, at least. Face-off percentage, again, we won that metric. That's 2 games in a row now. So, yeah, I like it when we win face-offs. Can we do that more often? I feel like we're getting better at that. Power play, 33%, 1 for 3, and didn't really take a whole lot of bad penalties last night. 12 block shots for Seattle, 24 for the Sharks. So the Kraken were just feeding the puck to the net relentlessly all night long. Shots by period, you can see 17 in the first. That's where they just came out to that blistering start. Electrifying by Turbo Tanev to kick things off, and they didn't let up. The second period was a little slower, but, you know, still pretty good pressure at times, I thought, from the Kraken. And then they finished things off in the third period. So you get a full 60 minutes tonight, and no extra, no free hockey. We like that as well because things haven't gone so well in overtime this year for the Kraken. But 9 shots in the third, 6 for the Sharks. That's a look at the stats. Here's the 3 stars from last night. Oliver Bjorkstrand, the #1 star. Eli Tolvanen, Golvanen, whatever you want to call him. It was Tolvi time in the third period. He had 2 goals and an assist. He's really heating up over the last 10 to 12 games. Love his game so far. And Jared McCann, 1 goal, 1 assist. He's your 3rd star. And that is it for the stats portion of the video. You guys, let's look at the standings real quick. Look at that. 500. 8-8-5, 21 points right there, and we're in a wild card spot. Unfortunately for the Sharks, they're 3-15-1, and struggling continues for them. Let's look ahead at the schedule real quick here. We've got the Canucks on Friday at Climate Pledge Arena. I hope you guys are going to be there. I'm going to be there. Let's get loud. Let's bring it. Let's beat those Canucks at home to close out the homestand and get over 500. Blackhawks after that on the 28th out on the road. And then up to Toronto, the promised land for hockey. Austin Matthews and his friends try to take down the Kraken on the 30th of November. That's it for November. After that, the calendar will turn to the next month. And that is also it for today's video, you guys. Thank you so much for watching. Hit that like button for me if you enjoyed the video. And if you're new to the channel, it would mean a lot if you subscribe. I do appreciate it. So that's it for today's recap. A big one against the Canucks on Friday. Just a reminder, we do have the podcast going here as well, just the audio-only version. I haven't recorded any episodes recently, but I'm hoping to soon, maybe a morning cup of Kraken and a couple of guests. I do have something I'm working on. I just haven't recorded it yet. So keep up over on x.com in the meantime. And everybody out there, I hope you have a fantastic Thanksgiving Day. That's going to do it for tonight's show. We'll catch you again on another video here real soon at Sasquatch NHL. Happy Thanksgiving.